So we'll chant Om 3 times, followed by the invocation shlokas, and then we will chant the this what you call Mangalacharanam shloka. Okay, so please close your eyes. We'll chant Om 3 times. Inhale deeply. ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्. So we will start by chanting the Mangalacharanam in praise of Ramana Maharshi Ji. In case if you don't have the text, I have texted it in the chat window. Okay, so one of you please go off mute and repeat after me. Antaryascha bahirvidhutatimiram
Antaryascha bahirvidhurtimiram
Jyotirmayam Shashwatam
Jyotirmayam Shashwatam
Sthanam Prapya Virajate Vinamatam
Sthanam Prapya Virajate Vinamtam
Ajnanamunmulayan
Ajnanam Unmulayan
Pashyan Vishwamapidamullasatiyo
Pashyan Vishwam Apidam Ullasitiyo
Vishwasya Pare Paraha
Vishwasvapare Paraha
Tasmai Shri Ramanaya Loka Gurave
Tasmai Shri Ramanaya Loka Guruve
Chokasya Hantre Namaha.
Shokasya Hantre Namaha.
Thank you, Rajiv. So, as we are studying Upadesha Sara, Bhagavan Ram Maharshi first has taken the Karma Marga. And in the very first sloka, Karturajnaya Prapyate Phalam Karma Kim Param Karma Tajjagam. By saying so, the very first thing that he has attacked is our Ahankara. Why? As the student of Vedanta, we understand that our biggest problem is our Ahankara. And what does our Ahankara says? I am the Karta, I am the Bhokta, I am the doer, and I am the experiencer. So this Ahankara, and then if you see the Bhagavad Gita, etc., in the process of our evolution, first it recommends Karma Yoga. Then, after the performance of Karma Yoga to certain extent, it says, okay, now you are eligible for knowledge. And what is the knowledge? That you are not this body. When that is given, then what happens? It teaches karma sannyasa yoga. What is karma sannyasa yoga? Giving up the notion that I am the doer. So what Lord Krishna was trying to teach across 4 chapters to come to that karma sannyasa yoga, that Bhagavan has addressed right in the very first shloka, saying that karturagneya prapyate phalam karma kim param karma tajidam. Remove the notion that you are the doer. Okay? Why? All of this, the doership, etc., all of that, that kartu is the Lord, not you. And then he, in the second shloka, kruti mahodadho patana karanam phalamashashvatam gati nirodhakam, there he has said that performing actions will only give results, and these results, action, results, action, results, it only takes us to lead us to the path of ajnana, and as a result, we can never get to the actual jnana. And he also gives the solution in the third shloka, Ishwararpitam Nechyapitam Chitta Shodhakam Mukti Sadhakam. So there he says that the solution is perform Karma Yoga. We saw that Karma Yoga has got 4 aspects, right? We had to do only Kartavya Karma, which is our duties, and we should not expect hanker for any results. And we should have Ishwararpana Buddhi, saying that everything that I am performing is for the sake of God, and whatever results come, it is His grace. So when we have that, it purifies the mind, Chitta Shodhakam, and it helps us through the path of Mukti. Now, with this, Bhagavan has completed the thought process for around Karma Yoga. Now, if you want to do something like this, if I want to cut down Ahankara, what do I need to do? Enters Bhakti, devotion. Now, when this Bhakti or devotion has come into the play, why is Bhakti needed? Bhakti is needed for the sake of, as I said, removal of our ajnana. Right? Now, when we need to remove ajnana through bhakti, right? How can we do? It is because it is a removal of ajnana, removal of our ahankara. For that, Bhagavan first says that let us understand what this bhakti is. He says that kayam vang manaha karyam uttamam pujanam japa chintanam kramat. So you have kaya, vak, and mana. Kaya meaning physical body, vak is speech, and mana is thought, mind. Among these, you can do puja, japa, chintanam. 3 ways he has given. And among these, compared to puja, japa is better. Compared to japa, chintana is better. And he says that puja is performed with keeping the body as primary focus, whereas japa is done with walk or speech as primary focus, and chintana is done with mind as primary focus. So, one simple example that was given by our Acharya ji was, puja is like riding a tricycle. Why? Because both body, speech, and mind are included in that. So it is much easy to have focus because your body is also included in there, mind and speech, as I said, right? Now, anybody can do it. Compared to that, japa is a little bit tough because now you're sitting quietly at some place. So because body is kind of stable, the focus is only on speech and mind. So compared to tricycle, now we removed that training wheel, that extra wheel. So you have only two wheels. So it is like a bicycle. So it is a little bit tough, but it can be doable. Now, when you go to Dhyanam, in Chintana, what happens? You remove the other one more wheel. So it is a unicycle. So it is like, like how in circus people actually do the ride a single, not a bicycle, but a unicycle. Right? It is kind of tough, very tough. Okay, so this is like that. Okay, because why? The speech is also turned off. So everything that you have to do is with mind alone. So this puja, okay, this is now we are talking about puja, right? You can do puja in various ways. Now in puja, actually, like in puja and japa, in both there are two letters, pa and ja. There are two syllables, pa and ja, in both puja and japa. So it is said that pakaro papanashanam, jakaro janman vicheda. Meaning pakaro papanashanam, meaning pa, the letter pa, is removing all our papa in our puja or japa. So it is removing all our sins. Then jakaro Janma Vicheda. Ja, meaning the sound ja, the alphabet ja, what it is doing that it is removing our birth, future births. So the puja, what it is doing is that, either puja or japa, what they're doing is that they're removing our sins, step one, and ensuring that there is no more future births. Meaning they are trying to put an end to our samsara, transmigration, from being born from again, from one birth to another birth, one womb to another womb. Okay? So in secular world, we say there's a saying like womb to tomb. Okay? So from birth to death. Okay. But whereas in our Vedanta, we don't say womb to tomb, rather it is womb to womb. Okay, one birth to another birth. Okay, one body to another body. Because from our perspective, life doesn't end at the time of death. It just goes from one womb to another womb. So this puja or this japa, what they are doing is that they are removing the sin and eliminating the need for future births. Yes, that's what puja and japa are. Now in this puja also, what happens is that we have 16 steps of puja. Okay. Now, there's actually a long shloka which details all these 16 steps. It says something like Avahanasane Padya Madhyamachamaniyakam Snanam Vastropavastram cha Gandhamalyadike krama Dhupam Deepam cha Naivedyam Tambulam cha Pradikshanam Pushpanjalim Shodashakamevam Deva Vidhi. So all 16 steps are listed, enumerated in here. How does it start? It starts with Avahana. Avahana means in a puja, there are, first of all, in puja, there are 16 steps. The very first step is Avahana. Avahana means what? In the Murti, in the pratika that I have in front of me, either a photo or a picture or something like that, we are inviting the deity to whom we are doing the prarthana or to the puja to. So, for example, if you are doing Rama Puja, Bhagavan Sri Rama, so there's a picture of Sri Rama in front of me, and I'm invoking Lord Sri Rama to come and be in that picture for the duration of my puja at least. So that is avahana. That is the first step. Then, as soon as Ramji has entered into that picture or the photo frame or the idol, whatever that is, right? That pratika, that symbol, right? So, where is he coming from? First of all, Bhagwan is everywhere. Okay? Yet, for the duration of my puja, I want to have like one-on-one time with Bhagwan. Okay? So, because I want to have one-on-one time with Bhagwan, we are inviting Bhagwan to say, like, Bhagwan, you are everywhere, I understand, but like, for this puja, I need to have a personal conversation. Okay? Like I'm having right now with you. Okay? So please come and be in this form in front of me. If I'm doing Rama Puja, it is Lord Rama's picture. Okay, if I'm doing Krishna Bhagwan's puja, it is Lord Krishna's picture. It doesn't matter. Now that you are there, Avahana is done, step one. The step two is Asana. Asana is please sit. So we offer a seat for Bhagwan. Now, interestingly, in puja, everything is visualization based. So now when you're visualizing, don't visualize when you say asanam samarpayami, typically like after avahana, in Sanskritam, in our puja vidhi, there's an interesting phenomenon. So when you want to samarpayami means I'm offering. What am I offering? Asanam. Now for asanam, you need to have an asana. Like a asana could be a seat or a stool. Now, do you have an asana to offer to God in our puja mandir? No, we don't. So what can we do? Asanarthe akshatan samarpayami. That means for the sake of asana, I'm just offering an akshata. Akshata means a rice, okay, a grain of rice, okay, or maybe a couple of grains of rice. Okay, we just say asanarthe akshatan samarpayami. So then what happened now? Bhagwan, now I did not have asana. Instead of asana, I'm offering these two rice grains and think about these two rice grains as asana. But in my mind, what I'm offering is that visualize. Okay, so as part of puja, visualize that you are actually offering a ratna khachita, okay, divyasanam. Okay, so that means that a beautiful, okay, asana which is made up of gold and all of these diamonds, gems, etc. All of them are studded. Okay, golden chair. Okay, in your mind, just visualize. Okay, you don't have to spend that money on asana, but just do that. Then what happens when someone enters into the house? In our past, right? I mean, think about maybe 100 years back or 200 years back. When someone comes to our home, they walked far and far and wide, and they walked, right? So their feet are dirty. So what you are going to do first? You give them water to wash their feet. That water to wash their feet is what we call as padyam. Okay? So this padyam is what you offer next. Padyam samarpayami. So that means to Bhagwan, I'm offering some water to wash your feet. So in puja, what you do? Padyam samarpayami. You have a small patra, a vessel in which there is some water. You take a spoonful of water, show it to Bhagwan's feet, and then pour it in a plate in front of Bhagwan. Okay. This is Padyam. This is the step 3. Avahana is step 1. Asana was step 2. Padyam is step 3. Now, Bhagwan, imagine, as if Bhagwan is coming to our home, just like as a guest from outside. So we first washed his feet. Now, Bhagwan, when someone is coming from somewhere, as soon as they come, what do we ask? Are we going to feed them something? No. Say, do you want to drink something? That's the first, okay, beverage. Why? Not because it's a beverage or something like that, because they came from maybe probably like a hot sun or something. We just need to give them some water. So that water for them to drink is arghya. Okay. No, actually, we'll wash their hands first. Okay. So now that they wash their legs, then they wash their hands. Arghya. Then they drink water. So sometimes, depending upon steps, you also will have step to wash their face also. The mukha prakshalanam. But in 16 step puja, it is not needed. So then they came, right? So then what you do next? Take a shower. Okay, come inside, take a warm shower, warm bath. So that is snanam. Now, after snanam, if you're doing a full-fledged puja, you may have abhishekam. Okay? Because especially if you go to Shivalayas, etc., there's a lot of time, this abhisheka is done. Why abhisheka? Is because this is the way for me to please my God in front of me. So in abhisheka, we, especially if it is in temple, right? If you are going to do Shivalinga abhishekam, you take, some people will take milk, some people will take orange juice, some people will take whatever that is, right? Ghee, yogurt, all of those to offer it to God. Why? Because see, you do notice that why are you I mean, you see that in the modern era, people actually say, why are you wasting so much of this milk, etc., on Bhagwan, right? On this Shivalinga. Okay? It's all being wasted. Why are you spending wasting so much, food on this stone? That's a question people ask. But why do we do that then? Okay, why do we offer this milk and orange juice or sugarcane juice or this or that on the name in the name of Abhishekam to Lord? It is like this. Think about it. At your home, there's a particular festival has come. And for this festival, you want to do puja for God. When you're doing puja for God, obviously, what are you going to do? You are going to make prasadam, yes? When you are prepared this prasadam, what kind of prasadam would you prepare? The prasadam that you prepare is most likely the one that you will eat. If you don't like a particular food, would you offer it as prasadam to God?
No.
Why? Why not? Because whatever you're offering, because you are the one who is going to eat that afterwards. And how much prasadam are you going to make?
It all depends on how much you like, what you like and how much.
Yeah, how much, it all depends on how much you and your family members can eat. Okay? That is the amount of prasadam you are going to make for Bhagwan. So, actually not prasadam, naivedyam. Okay, so the right term is naivedyam. Whatever we offer to Bhagwan is naivedyam. Whatever, after offering to Bhagwan, whatever comes back is prasadam. So, the naivedyam that we make is dependent on what me and my family members like and how much we can consume. If I am in 30s or 40s and my kids are young, the prasadam is, the naivedyam is
Sweet.
lot of sweets, etc. If I am in my 60s or 70s, God also cannot eat sweet. So that's why what happened is that in this concept of naivedyam, my likes and dislikes come into play in preparation of naivedyam. In case of Abhishekam, what happened is that whatever I'm offering to God, it is being drained into drainage. Okay, some kind of drainage eventually. Okay. So now whatever I'm offering to God as part of Abhishekam, it is actually meant for God, not for my sake. So because of this, there is a swartha aspect. Swartha means not necessarily greed, but it's not necessarily selfish, but swartha is swartha, for my own sake. So there is a my aspect is there in preparation of naivedyam, but there is no swartha for my own sake aspect in case of abhishekam, because whether you do 1 gallon or 10 gallons, water or coconut water or fruit juice or milk or yogurt or honey or ghee, whatever we pour, only like we'll take only 1 spoon of that as tirtham. Everything else goes away. So that is where what happened is this is actually meant for Bhagwan, this Abhishekam. So that is why people bring lot of that. Okay, so a lot of milk, etc. And yes, in India, etc., that could have been used for poor people, understood, but at least in US, etc., it shouldn't make a huge amount of difference about food in terms of food waste. Okay, so because this is a true way of showing that, okay, I actually love and care for God. But again, it doesn't mean that, okay, take too much and waste like 10 gallons or 100 gallons of milk, but some level of this should be okay. So that's what. Okay, so Padyam, Argyam, Achamaniyam we spoke about, Snanam we spoke about, Abhishekam we spoke about. After Abhishekam and Snanam, what we do? We give clothes for Bhagwan to wear, fresh clothes. Okay? So there is Vastram and Upavastram is said. So that means that if it is a male form of deity, we give, let's say, dhoti. Now, along with dhoti is something that it is tied to waist to legs. Along with dhoti, you also give a
Vastram.
angavastra. Okay, so that is something that is covering his top. Okay? That is upavastra. If it is female deity, you give sari. Along with sari, you also probably give a blouse piece. So like that, vastra and upavastra, they go together. Then what happens? Now, after they took shower, they put clothes. Is that enough? No, 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 no. So they need to get dressed. Okay? So that dressing is kunkuma. That includes gandham. That includes flowers, etc. Gandhamalya adi. Okay, so all of those will come. Then what happens? Dhupam is given. Dhupam is incense stick. Okay, so that way, like they have something nice, fresh to, like nice smells to breathe. Then we show Deepam. Now, when we say, so now here, before Dhupa Deepa, normally in a real puja, we also do typically, like on special days, we do Ashtottara Shatanamavali. Okay? So you do some kind of a puja with Ashtottara Nama, right? Do you guys know what Ashtottara means?
108 names.
Okay, we chant 108 names of God. When we chant 108 names of God, what exactly is Ashtottara? Because any God They have either 108 names or Sahasranama Archana, 1000 names. Shivji also have 300 names. What are those 300 names called? It can be called as Trishati, okay? But in case of if you read what is it, if you chant Rudram, there are 300 names in Rudram. Okay. Now these 100 names, 300 names, 1000 names, all of them are talking about the absolute nature and the relative nature of God. Okay. So, for example, Jagadharaya Namaha. Jagat Adharaya. You are the Adhara. Adhara meaning you are the sustainer of this universe. Now, this Jagadadharaya Namaha is so abstract and so common that it could be used in Ramachana, it could be used in Ganesha Puja, it could be used for Mother Lakshmi also. So now who among this is Jagadadharaya? Okay. Who among this is Jagadadharaya? Jagadadhara. Everybody is Jagadadharaya, and it really doesn't matter because no matter which form of the God we are talking about, eventually all of these forms are pointing to one reality, that is Brahman or Ishvara. Okay, and that Ishvara is Jagat Adhara. Right? Okay, so from a Saguna Sakara perspective, meaning with gunas and with akara, with form and with attributes, when we think about God, that is Ishvara. All manifestations, right? All these deities are none other than the manifestation of same Ishvara. Okay, so like that, as a result, whenever you see the repeating names, I mean the same name occurring in multiple Sahasranamas or multiple Ashtottara Shatanamavalis, don't get confused. Oh, looks like this is the name of Lord Vishnu. Last time when I heard, this was also given as the name of Ganesha. How is that possible? Who exactly this name means? Okay, it really doesn't matter because all of them are different attributes. Each name is a different attribute of God, and the purpose of chanting these 108 names is thinking about the same God in 108 different ways. Okay, so that's why this Ashtottaram is given. After you do Dhupa and Deepa. So now Deepam is light. Light represents knowledge. So when we do Aarti, we do Aarti like this, yes? We rotate the light. Why do we rotate the light? We rotate that lamp because, I mean, like, we don't know why we are rotating. We just rotate Aarti Sri Chinmaya Sadguru ki or Om Jai Jagadish Hare. People rotate, rotate clockwise, and some people do rotate anti-clockwise. Okay. Whichever way, right? But what happens is, if you go to a proper temple in India, okay, okay. Now, have you ever seen those Garbhagudi, the inner sanctum? It is so small. Okay? No matter how big the temple is, the Garbhagudi, the inner sanctum of God, is so small. And usually it is dark too. Okay. Now, who is giving Aarti? The priest is giving. Now, when priest is actually giving the Aarti, he's actually showing different parts of the body of that Bhagwan. Okay, with that light. Because back in the day, They would put tube lights and all of that in the inner sanctum. And now they're putting it, and the priest in the olden days was also considered a teacher. And that teacher is showing the nature of Bhagwan by pointing to various aspects of that God. So, in this Deepa and Arati tradition, he is actually showing who the God is for us. Okay, it is a symbolic way of showing who the God is and what is the nature of that God is being showed symbolically in through that Deepa. So that's why, because why this Deepa or this knowledge is the one that removes our ignorance. And what we offer to Bhagwan, as I said, is Naivedyam. Okay. And when we give Naivedyam or Tambulam to Bhagwan, what happens is that whatever we are offering, what we think is ours, okay, essentially our Ahankara, and he blesses that Ahankara and says, keep it with you too, so that it can be used to purify your own mind. So that is the prasada. And we do Pradakshanam. Pradakshina means in a temple, we go around the Murti, right? And when we are walking around the Murti, understand that it means that Bhagwan, I am walking around you. I am walking around your Murti meaning what? This is symbolically, I am saying that you will be the center of everything that I do. I will keep you in center of everything that I do. And with that, we offer our pranams through Pushpanjali. Pushpanjali meaning you offer set of flowers. Okay. In chapter 9 of Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan says that Patram, Pushpam, Phalam, Toyam. So to pray me, all you can do is that offer one leaf. It's okay. Or one flower, that's okay. And that flower need not be, like a flower that you buy from, a flower bouquet that you buy from a florist or something. No. You can pick up any weed flower and offer it to me. I'm fine with it. Patram, Pushpam, okay. And otherwise you offer a fruit. That's also fine. If you cannot offer anything, just offer a drop of water, toyam. That is also fine. Because I don't care what you are giving to me, because in reality, whatever we are giving to Bhagwan already belongs to Bhagwan. Okay? What is it that doesn't belong to Bhagwan? Is our mind. Our mind doesn't belong to Bhagwan because why? Because I think I am different from Bhagwan. That's why I think that my mind is different from Bhagwan. So when we do this Anjali, okay, Namaskara, what we are doing is that we are essentially offering not the Pushpa, not the Toyam, not the Phalam, not the Patram, but our mind is being offered to the Lord. Okay. So that is the Shodasha Puja, meaning a puja that is done with 16 steps. Okay. Now, there are other steps, like that's called like Avantar Upacharas. Okay. So, for example, we do like, offer like, water in between multiple times. We offer Yajnopavitam, etc. All of those are called Avantara, meaning like the additional ones, which are primarily meant for these 16 steps. Okay. So in this puja, the mind is involved, of course, when we are chanting the mantras, etc. And there is a form is involved, okay, pratika, okay, for support. Why? Because when I'm chanting a shloka or mantra about Bhagwan, I am looking at Bhagwan's picture. Because I'm looking at this one, even if my mind goes elsewhere, it will come back soon because my body is involved in this puja and I'm seeing the picture of God right in front of me. Because of that, this is supported by body. Now, Bhagwan, if you don't want to do 16-step puja, there is a 5-step puja also, Panchopachara puja. Panchopachara means only 5 steps. Yeah? You just offer Gandha, Pushpa, okay, Naivedyam, etc. Right? Gandha, Pushpa, Deepam, Dhupam, and Naivedyam. 5. Okay, you can do with these 5 steps also. Because whether you do 16 steps or 5 steps, it doesn't matter. Okay. What is the bhavana? What is the feeling that you are invoking with the Lord? That is what is important. Okay. And as long as all these feelings are centered around God, that is what is important. Okay. So this puja must be done. Okay. So do you have any questions before we go to the next shloka? So let me break down the next shloka. Okay. Jagat, Jagata, single word. It is the 5th shloka. Okay. Ishadhi, Yukta, Sevanam. Together it becomes Yukta Sevanam. Ashtamurti Bhrut Deva Pujanam. So, if this one has got 5 words. Ashta, Murti, Bhrut, Deva, Pujanam. Together it becomes Ashtamurti Bhrut Deva Pujanam. So one of you please go off mute and repeat after me. Jagatayeshadhi Yukta Sevanam.
I don't have the verse right. If you can put it, or Rajiv ji, please.
Jagat Ishadhi Yukta Sevanam
Ashtamurti Bhrut Deva Pujanam.
Ashtamurti Bra Deva Pujanam.
So now, when we start with puja, we talked about what is this puja, about how we perform puja in our puja mandir. But did you notice that sometimes the people who perform puja, they are very angry people. Okay? So at home, they may say like, okay, so like sometimes you might have seen this head of the family who is going to do puja. He's yelling at everyone, where is this? Where is that? Okay, so I need to do puja. So everybody, so bring, okay, who is supposed to bring milk? Okay, so bring milk. Okay, so we need to do this. Okay, so where are the flowers? Okay, so these flowers are not good. Bring better flowers. So okay, where is the Naivedyam? It's not done yet. Come on, do it. Okay, how come you're so late? Okay, all of that is like a hangama was going on, right? So sometimes, or maybe this person is doing puja very well, and they did all the puja thoroughly, very well, all steps done, and then when they come out, their attitude is completely different. If you see in India, sometimes in some places outside of the temple there are so many beggars. And when these people who went to this temple, like I mean, these famous temples, so they are coming from all over India and went to this temple and did the puja and all of that. As soon as they come out, the way they behave with these beggars is completely different. In some other cases, forget about that. Sometimes even in line, when we are waiting to see Bhagwan, the type of altercations that we have with the people ahead of us and behind us, okay, before darshan and after darshan, are nothing to do with the attitude that we must have for this Bhagwan. So what is this highest form of puja is explained in this shloka. Jagata Ishadhi Yukta Sevanam Ashtamurti Bhrut Deva Pujanam. So this world, Jagat is means this world. Okay? So the highest puja that I can do is when I see this Lord in this entire world. Okay? Ishvara evam, Ishvara eva, idam jagat, iti ishadhi. Meaning, this entire world is Ishvara alone. Have this feeling. Because in puja, as I said, right, we should have a certain vision. Like the example, where did I give the example is we are offering a grain of rice, but we are saying that assume, hey Bhagavan, assume this grain of rice as your asana, your chair. Okay? When we are saying all of that, a vision must be there, right? So that vision is what? Ishvara alone is this entire world. So have that vision that this entire world is Lord alone. When I have this attitude in my work, what happens is that all my activities become a service to the Lord. So even in Upanishads, etc., they say, like Chandogya Upanishad, for example, it says, Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma Tajjalan iti Shanta Upasita. So that means all this you see is Brahman alone. Okay? So with that thought, okay, Tat Jalan means Tat Ja, meaning from that Ishvara alone, from that Brahman alone, Ishvara, from that Brahman alone, Tat Jalan. Ja is representing birth, and Lan means Liyate, meaning in that itself you are merging. So everything is coming from Brahman and it is merging back into Brahman. With this understanding, we must see the Lord in entire world. Now, Ashtamurti Bhrut. Ashta meaning 8. 8 murtis. Okay. So this Ashtamurti Bhrut Deva Pujanam Bhavati. Okay. So how do we need to do puja is that understand this entire world is 8 forms of the Lord. What are the 8 forms of the Lord? In Bhagavad Gita, chapter 7, Bhagavan described that, said that I have 2 prakritis, para prakriti and apara prakriti, meaning I have 2 particular forms. One is higher nature and my lower nature. And describing his lower nature, he said, Bhumi rapo analo vayu kham mano buddhireva chahankaram iti yamme bhinna prakritirashthatha. So there he described his lower form, lower nature is saying that it is eightfold form. What are those 8 forms? Bhumi, apaha, analaha, vayuhu, kham. So these are the kham means vayu. Okay, so space. So all of these, that is Bhumi is earth, apaha is water, analaha is fire, vayu is air, and kham is space. So these are 5 Panchamahabhutas. Manaha buddhi, manaha is mind, buddhi is intellect, ahankara. Okay, so these are, so ahankara is the 8th one. So these the eightfold form is prakriti is my lower guna. That's what Bhagavan said. Now, in this Upadesha Sara, it is slightly different. What is it? How is it different? Because it is representing the forms of God. Okay, where exactly you can see God? It said Panchamahabhutas, okay, which is again those five: Bhumi, Apaha, Analaha, Vayu, Kham. Okay, those five. Okay, so those, or you can say Akasha, Vayu, Agni, Jala, Prithvi, those five, whichever. And then for the rest three, it is slightly different. It is given Surya, Chandra, and Jiva. Sun is specifically called out, moon is specifically called out, and Jiva is specifically called out. Why sun? Sun is representing all luminaries in the universe. Luminaries mean one who have shining capability, self-shining capability. So the sun and all stars in the galaxies are the form of Bhagavan alone, Ishvara alone. Then what about moon? Why moon? Moon is representing all satellites, grahas, and satellites actually are these what you call upagraha. Upagraha means one that rotates a planet is a satellite. Yeah? So those satellites and planets that don't have inherent light, but they have borrowed light. So for example, if you see on a bright evening, I mean like when there's clear skies are there in the night, you can see Jupiter as a star, like shining like a star. You can see Mars shining like a star, Mercury shining like a star, etc. They're all glowing in the night like a star only. However, they don't have inherent light, rather their light is coming from the borrowed light from the sun. So this moon is representing all those planets and satellites which don't have inherent light. So we said Ashtamurti, 8 forms of the Lord are these five Panchamahabhutas, then specifically called out as sun, representing all the self-shining stars in the universe, and moon representing all the satellites and planets which don't have self-shining, but which have borrowed shining, and finally the Jiva. Jiva meaning individual soul. Okay? So these 8 together are considered as 8 forms of Bhagavan. Now, so what about plants? Are they Bhagavan or not? They are. How come they are Bhagavan? Because they are made up of these Panchamahabhutas. So it has, when you look at a plant, it has got a solid matter, Prithvi. It has got some liquid thing. Like if you can actually squeeze, you can get some water out of the flower or something like that. Yeah? So it has Jala. And if you burn as a firewood, it gives fire, so that is it has Agni, and of course it has Vayu, and it is in space, Akasha. So all 5 elements are there in a plant or a tree. That is true of every living and non-living beings. Because of that, God is in everything. So this entire world is Lord alone. So have this kind of a thought. So this Jagata Ishadhi, okay, this entire universe, this Jagat is God alone. Jagata Ishadhi Yukta Sevanam. And with that, we must perform seva. So that means that every action that we perform must be performed as service to God. Okay. So Jagata Ishadhi Yukta Sevanam Ashtamurti Bhrut Deva Pujanam. So now, whoever I'm serving, okay, understand that that person is God and I am performing God's seva. So this is how it should happen. So now, where does it start? It starts with having a personification of God. And that personification of the self or the personification of that God in a particular form is called as Murti. Okay. So now that Murti or that personification of the God can be Lord Shiva, Lord Vishnu, Mother Durga, Mother Saraswati. It doesn't matter whatever that form is. Okay. Hold on to that form, okay, and begin there at an individual murti level. And once you begin at individual murti level, from there you expand, saying that Bhagwan is not just in this murti, but Bhagwan is also outside of this murti. And when this Bhagwan is both inside and outside of this murti, then Bhagwan is in every being. Whether it is the being is living being or a non-living being, it doesn't matter. Bhagwan is everywhere. And then the next step is when Bhagwan is everywhere in every living being and non-living being, then Bhagwan must be there inside me and outside me. If Bhagwan is both inside me and outside me, is there anything other than Bhagwan that I think as me? And the answer is no. There is nothing other than Bhagwan. This is the thought we must have. So this is where Jagata Ishadhi Yukta Sevanam Ashtamurti Bhrut Deva Pujanam. This is how we must perform our puja. So start with 16 steps of puja. Okay, the Shodashopachara puja. If you don't have time, do Panchopachara puja, whatever that is. And if you don't know any upacharas or something, like forget about it. Okay, so it doesn't matter. Okay, just sit in front of Bhagwan and pray to him in any way that your parents have taught you. Okay, and if you don't even remember, like half of what your parents taught, whatever you think is appropriate, do it. Okay, to Bhagwan. But after doing all of that, what is important is that bhakti, that devotion, that love for God is most important. And then understand that this Bhagwan is not limited to this Murti, but he is all expansive. He is all encompassing, all ever. Okay, so with that attitude, we expand the vision. That's what Ramana Maharshi Ji is saying. So I'll pause here and see if you have any questions. If there are no questions, shall we close then?
Yeah, it's clear.
Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Thank you.